This is Dennis Williams, the creator of CashMap, and thanks for joining me for part 4 of a 5-part series where we are using CashMap Pro to demonstrate how you can accelerate paying off a mortgage. And in this particular series, we're going to talk about the importance of your line of credit's billing cycle in minimizing your average daily balance. So let's get started. We'll walk through our scenario: $375,000 mortgage, $6,900 roughly deposited each month, expenses of about $6,400, a positive cash flow of $500, which is the money left after the bills are paid, and $10,000 in savings. So we indicated that our $375,000 loan, you're going to make a total payments of $684,000 over 30 years. And that is interest of $309,000, and that we had said that additional payments shorten the loan's life so that you end up paying less interest. And that if you just follow the schedule, you are going to take 19.75 years to get half the loan paid off. We talked about spending $130 to make $20,000 in principal payments. Of that, $13,000 is principal, enabling you to pay off the loan 21 months earlier, saving $27,000 in interest, and building a savings balance of $14,000. The alternative is to do what most people do. They would just put the money in the bank and at best grow their savings to $21,000 and earn $354 in interest at 2%. So for us, what we're doing in our scenario, we're withdrawing $2,500 approximately the first month to get the solution started. That's going to cost us just 79 cents in interest. We're applying the $2,500 to our mortgage, saving us $6,500 in interest payments, and that we're using our income to reduce our line of credit costs by roughly 92%. So we're using our income to refinance our debt. And so now the question is, what is our line of credit's billing cycle to make this all possible? So we're assuming at this point, in the example that we used in the previous section, that our billing cycle begins on the 1st, ends on the 30th. We can see in this scenario in the yellow box that we're making our loan payment on the 15th of the month. We're seeing that the orange box is our average daily balance on the line of credit. The red shows us what we're going to pay. And partway through the month, we are ending up paying off the line of credit. And so as a result of that, we are looking at being able to keep dollars in our savings account, in which the average daily balance will be almost $1,300, and we'll get $2.11 in interest. So what is a billing cycle? Well, a billing cycle takes the beginning date of the month and the ending date that they in turn use to calculate the average daily balance. Now, if you decide to call, which you do need to call, be prepared to be surprised, because I have never called a financial institution and the person who, when I asked the question, could give me the answer. They do not know what a billing cycle is themselves. You have to be specific and say, I want to know the beginning date and the ending date that you use to calculate my average daily balance or my daily interest charge. Now, if you already have a line of credit, you're not going to be able to change your billing cycle, so you are going to need to know this when you get started. If you're applying for a line of credit, you want to ask early, so you want to know what you want for your billing cycle. Some institutions are more flexible than others. Some give you a choice. Others just have some set options that you have to choose from. And once you know what your billing cycle is, then you can schedule your expenses accordingly. So what if the billing cycle didn't go from the 1st to the 30th, but instead started on the 30th and ends on the 29th? What would be the effect? Well, the effect would be that because now we are paying our expenses on the 30th, the first day of the billing cycle, that's highlighted in yellow, all of a sudden the average daily balance goes from $190 up to, in the orange here, $3,200. And instead of paying 79 cents in interest, we're now going to pay $13.38. This is entirely unacceptable for our strategy. So we really only need to make one small adjustment. Knowing that it starts on the 30th, then what we would do is shift the date on when we pay our expenses to the 29th, and we're now back in line. So you can see how the billing cycle, knowing what it is, makes a huge impact on minimizing your average daily balance and your interest costs. So we're making an assumption as we go through CashMap Pro using 1st through 30th that the 1st is going to be the first day of your billing cycle and the 30th is the last day. And again, you can see how using optimize your average daily balance, we've set it all to the 30th. It's showing the average daily balance, how you're optimizing. So a few tips you want to remember is when you have the opportunity to set your billing cycle, you want the first day to be the date in which the greatest amount of income is going to be deposited. If you have the option of having monthly and bi-monthly deposits, it does allow predictability. If you do not, which would be true for weekly and bi-weekly, there's going to be fluctuation. And recognizing you can't control that, the average daily balance choice, you really want it to make sure you're moving all of your expenses to the last day of the billing cycle. If a date can't be moved, as far as your individual expenses, then move it to your credit card. And for credit cards, you can change the date in which you make payment to fall in line with what you want to have for the last day of your billing cycle. So again, by doing this, we're going to be able to pay off our mortgage 15 years earlier. We're going to save about $108,000 in interest. We're looking at building $86,000 in savings over 15 years, and over 29, that's $1.1 million. And again, we're only using a $15,000 line of credit. So to learn more, visit our website. There's over 90 articles, got a couple of ebooks, interactive resources, and consulting options. And again, thanks for joining me. And if you have options, scenario options for me to review, send them to admin@cashmapapp.com.